Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Tower. So it's tournament day. It's still relatively early on, the tournament has just started. I'm quite apprehensive joining so early because I heard that the most of the very top players tend to join very early. So I hope that I don't get too bad of a bracket. But I will be quite busy for the rest of today, so I might as well just join it. Some rewards is still better than nothing. The saving grace that I have is that so far my tournament performance has been quite consistent between rank 3 to rank 5. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be too bad for me if I join relatively early on in the tournament. But let's not jinx it any more than I already have. So, okay, tournament setup. The tournament setup is exactly the same as what I always use. In terms of the battle conditions for today, death ray resistance, more enemies, plasma cannon resistance, ultimate weapon durations, fast ultimate. Okay. Oh, and Death Defy is down, so I guess I can't really rely on Berserker Mastery today, but that is a good thing because it's some, I guess, with less Death Defies, it's going to make my runs more consistent. And so what I think I would do today in the playtesting is to cancel my black hole towards the later part of one of the runs, because if you recall from the previous episodes, the black hole center is, well, let's open up a run here so we can explain that better. The center of the black hole is in the interior of my tower range, and what happens in the later part of the runs is the ranged enemies get sucked into the center of the black hole, and I don't have enough damage to kill them when they are there. And so if my black hole falls, the ranged enemies have a chance to shoot me because they are in the interior of my range. So I'm hoping that if I cancel the black hole early, then all that's required from my tower is to just juggle the enemies. Okay, and this is also, I guess, pretty useful because we have this ultimate weapon durations reduction, so black hole is going to be less effective than it normally is. There is a reduction to poison swarm duration, however my poison swarm currently has 70 seconds of duration and 1 minute of cooldown, so I should have one swarm out permanently. Unfortunately, my poison swarm's radius is probably still going to be on the interior of my tower range. I don't have it maxed out yet, so it's currently at level 24. I have completed my ultimate weapon crit mastery, and because there is the Death Defy condition today, Berserker Mastery I guess is not going to be too useful. Because there is the more enemies battle condition, I think what I would do is to run Death Penalty. And the reason for that is because I don't have much attack speed. So my Death Penalty with this +5 attack speed and the ability to instant kill some enemies would probably help to trim down the number of enemies that I have to juggle later on in the run. As usual, Dimension Core, and as usual, project funding. So in terms of my setup, you would notice that now I have my presets. So for my farm setup, I'm currently running a 37.5 meter range. It looks a bit more than usual now because of the range card, but normally I run a smaller range in my farm runs just to I guess kill the enemies a bit quicker. I've also locked my shockwave size at 1.6 just so that I don't push the enemies too far behind. And so far it's been doing pretty good. It's brought my max coin up to 6.95Q, and I think it was previously at about 6.5, so I'm getting about another 450 trillion by adopting this strategy. But under the tournament setup, it's pretty much standard. All of this, I don't really need any of it. Damage, I've just put whatever I can. Ren armor and Ren chance is it's at level 0. I don't want it at level 0. Maybe let's give it 200 levels each. Okay. And for my skips, this is at 500. Attack level skip, I don't need it, it's at 0. So I have a bit of coins left to spend, so I guess we can do a little bit of upgrading. What do I want in my setup? So health level skip is at 125. I'm happy with that. Op size is at 145, so I'm also happy with that. The question for me now is whether or not I would want to work on damage or to get more cash. However, my golden tower is pretty weak, so I think the bulk of the cash that I get in the run comes from golden tower, and so just keeping it at 1.8 for now should be fine. Maybe what I would do is try to put in, this is pretty cheap, so let's put in 10 levels into each of these two. It probably wouldn't do very much, but a bit is, I guess it's still better than nothing. I guess I can put in 1 level into each of this, and I've got 6Q remaining. So yeah, I guess the remainder I will just put it into cash bonus. Okay, I'm broke again. So the coin from before, I think it was 26Q. You can see it really doesn't raise my stats or my enhancements by much, because they're starting to cost quite a lot now. And I think that is why I kind of agree with what Crowbar Zero suggested. He told me to prepare myself for black hole digester farming as best as I can, given what I have now, which is no ancestral black hole digester. What I'll probably do is to work on my golden tower duration and the GT combo bonus. I would also want to work on getting my chrono loop up a little bit more, so it spins the enemies around faster, which translates into more orb hits, more poison swarm stuns and so on, which I think would be a good avenue for me to dish out more damage to the bosses. And also, I guess, bring my death wave cooldown down slightly. So I will start work on all of this once I've gotten, I guess, a bit more uptime on my poison swamp. Just because, you know, it's the newest ultimate weapon that I have, and it's the new shiny object that I really want to play with at this stage. Okay, so just some final setup. I need to set my range to maximum. And I guess my shockwave size, I also have to make that maximum. Okay, and just to check that everything is done, so I'm in my tournament presets. I have my tournament cards, and my modules are tournament modules. Can I upgrade anything? Yes, I can. No, I can't, because I don't have enough money. So now I kind of regret doing that. What I can do is, I guess I can restore the level of my armor module, and then max this, and then max my tournament module, max my armor module after that. And the reason for that is because I don't really need the extra health. So at some point I would put in 1 more level into my armor module, but now I've got a little bit more ultimate weapon damage for this tournament. Okay, so my reroll shards have been going up steadily. It's been very good income so far, and that is all coming from the cash mastery. So I'm really glad that I got this, because where is it? Because my modules are going to be hitting 200 soon, so I need to prepare myself for the extra reroll shards that I would need when I get the new unique effect for my modules. The 201 level 1. So I think I would start saving my reroll shards from now all the way to my modules get to 201. And at some point I would probably also have to switch my researchers just to get as many bands as I can, so that I can make my rerolling life a little bit easier than usual, than it would otherwise be. Okay, so let's get started with the first tournament. So in the first one, I guess what I would do is I would, well, as usual, just chuck everything into a health level skips at the start. I need to set up my range and my target priority. So it's fast ultimate battle condition, so fast enemies go up, then ranged enemies, and I think that the next one would be boss, and then whatever is closest. Well, let's put elites up there as well, in case I do get elites. I don't normally get many of them. In terms of the orb distance, there is a boss live now. Okay, so we can set the orbs right at the range line so that I can kill as many of the ranged enemies as possible. Maybe what I might do is put my extra orbs slightly inside in case there are ranged enemies that enter into my black hole. And let's try out this setup for the time being. Of course, with fast enemies, the bosses will probably shoot past my range line very quickly. But I think the main difficulty of this tournament wouldn't be so much the bosses, but just ensuring that I do not take chip damage. As we saw from the previous playtest, it was the chip damage that was sort of killing me. That is not to say that the bosses are not dangerous today. We also have this plasma cannon resistance, so I'm pretty sure that at some point I would be taking a lot of damage from the bosses as well. But I think the more dangerous thing for me right now would be to just ensure that I do not try to reduce as much chip damage as I can as possible. So for the first run, I would just do it normally and not cancel intro sprint and not cancel my black hole. But for the second run, I think past wave 1200 or so, when my wall breaks, I would cancel my black hole. So the enemy health level skips, I got it up from 1.22 to 1.25. For my enhancement, so now it's, I think, maxing out at something like 55 point something %. I'm hoping that extra level skips that I get would make me able to go further in the tournament. Oh, it's not 55, it's 56 point something. Okay, yeah, 56.5% or something. Yeah. Okay, so now it's maxed out. It's pretty much AFK from here. Oh, look at that, my second poison swarm came out. Okay, so there were a few comments that I received. I can probably use this opportunity to answer them. So the first one comes from Dark Squad 170. Dark's comment says that should I focus on Econ Ultimate Weapons until they are at those targets before getting Chain Lightning and working on damage. Currently he farms tier 10 to wave 7200 and he has Golden Tower, Black Hole, Death Wave and Smart Missiles. So this is a comment from one of the earlier videos that I made on my thoughts on ultimate weapon progression in the mid game. So yes, Duck, I think getting Chain Lightning is more for tournament performance at your level, because I presume you are running an EHP build. So the at the end of the day, economy is the most important thing in this game, because the more economy that we have, the better our enhancements will be, and at the end, that is what is going to be driving quite a significant amount of your damage. Now, of course, you will have to get all your ultimate weapons eventually, and I think the question that you should be asking yourself at this stage is whether or not you want a slightly better tournament performance. If you do, then maybe investing or getting your chain lightning, getting maybe 3 quantity, 4 quantity, getting chance up to about 15%, and the damage multiplier up to about 200 times, that is not going to cost very much. It's 1,000-ish stones. You should be able to get a pretty decent chain lightning. Now, if you use your chain lightning while farming, you might observe a fall in your coin per minute. So I would say chain lightning is there for your tournament performance. And so it really depends on your objective. If you want to rush for as much economy as you can, then you should be working on your econ ultimate weapons. And you also kind of have to position yourself for eventually moving into the GT Plus farming, which requires you to have like 100 seconds Golden Tower cooldown, 50 seconds Black Hole cooldown, and at least 100 seconds Death Wave cooldown. So I guess to answer your question, sorry I can't give you a direct answer, but it depends on your priorities. If your priority now is you want to try to push for a little bit better tournament performance, then maybe consider unlocking the chain lightning. Otherwise, stick with what you're currently doing, and with smart missiles already, if you're able to sync your smart missiles with your econ ultimate weapon activations, it's going to give you a nice boost to your income as well. Okay, next comment is by Daniel Hoyt. He's in the middle game, and I'm right, it's a grind. He's pushing everything he has into cooldown on Golden Tower and Death Wave, and then try to push through this stage. Oh, okay, I see this. This is not a question. So thank you very much, Daniel, for your comment. So your comment pertains to one of the earlier videos. Also, it's a transition from EHP to Glass Cannon. Yeah, the mid game sucks. It really sucks, and there is a website for it to make your life a little bit better. And I think in one of my earlier videos, I mentioned that about 1/3 of my stones came from stone packs. So the bulk of where I spent my money was when I actually switched to the Obelisk Devo strategy. And that's because it was very micro intensive for me. And I like to keep my game very AFK. So when I reached that stage of farming, I was told that it's good for economy, and when I tested it out, yes, it does give me about 40-50% more coins. So I kind of didn't want to sacrifice the added coin that I was receiving, but I also wanted to boost my progression through that very painful stage as quickly as possible. And so stone packs there were okay for me. I kind of justified my choice that way. Yeah, so unfortunately it's some ritual hazing that the developers have made for everyone in the mid game. It definitely feels at times when you are just unlocking all of these ultimate weapons just to get to GT Plus that you are not really making any sort of meaningful progress. But just bear in mind that this is something that everyone had to go through or has to go through, and yeah, enjoy the process. That's all I can say. Anyway, thank you for your comment, Daniel. Okay, so the next one is from wbobth. Okay, and his comment is, when would you take the plunge to transition to Ultimate Weapon Plus? I have 2 Ultimate Weapons left to obtain, Chronofuel and Poison Swamp. I am going to get my Black Hole cooldown to 50 seconds after today's tournament, and his Golden Tower and Death Wave are currently at 150 seconds cooldown. It will cost him approximately 4,300 stones to get cooldowns to 100, or 5,400 stones to unlock the 2 remaining ultimate weapons. Thoughts? Okay, so this is what I think I would do. Again, this is a comment on one of the earlier videos on mid-game ultimate weapon progression. So wbobth, I think you are in quite a good state based on what I'm seeing here. So this is what I would suggest you do, and of course feel free to pick another path, right? What I would suggest you do is you take your next ultimate weapon first and make that Chronofuel, because Chronofuel has this very long lab, which is the Chronofuel duration. So it has 30 levels, and basically you want to unlock that and ignore your Chronofuel for the time being, but work on that lab. Just try to max it out, and once you have maxed out that lab, as you are maxing out that lab, bring your Golden Tower and Death Wave cooldown down to 100 seconds, and then finally unlock your Poison Swamp. So the reason for that is, if you say unlock both ultimate weapons and your GT and Death Wave are not at 150 seconds cooldown, yes, you would have the ability to start pumping it into GT Plus, but you really want your GT Plus to be as efficient as possible. And since the Chronofuel lab takes so long, you might as well just unlock it first, spend like 2 months of labs, dedicate 1 lab to just maxing out that duration, and in the meantime work on your GT and Death Wave. Then once your GT and Death Wave are set up, save up the remaining 3,000 stones, unlock your Poison Swamp, and then go as much as you can into your GT Plus. Yeah, so I think that is what I would do. Hopefully that helps you. Okay, and final comment is from Tian. So Tian says he has a question. Eventually we will transition to Glass Cannon. Does all the investment to EHP would be useless? And when is the sweet spot to stop investing in EHP? Oh, okay, Tian. This is a great question. So it may be the case that the developers in some version down the line make EHP great again. So, it's not necessarily going to be the case that Glass Cannon will be the only way to play this game. But that being said, at least in version 26, past for the higher tiers, you can't really rely on tanking the enemies. So yes, we do have to I guess make a transition towards a more damage focused build. Now at your stage, I presume if you are using EHP farming, then the way I like to think about EHP is to just have enough EHP to survive as long as you need to survive. And what do I mean by that? So back when I was doing tier 11 farming, I tried to do 2 runs a day, and what that meant is I needed each run to last for about 11 hours and 45 minutes to 12 hours, so that I have some time to fiddle with the game around in between the runs. And so what I then did was I made sure that I have enough effective hit points to allow my runs to sustain for 12 hours. And I don't really want any more EHP than that, because if I were to say do a 13-hour run, then it's very difficult for me to keep track of the progress of my runs. So I guess that's the answer that I would give you. Decide on how many runs you would like to do in a day. Some people like 8-hour runs, some people like 12-hour runs, some people might even like 6-hour runs. If what matters to you is that you have enough EHP to survive for that amount of duration that you need, and everything after that you can focus on just gearing yourself up for more damage. All right, hopefully that helps. Okay, so those were all the comments that I had received. I think there were some earlier and I would have responded to them. I just saw these comments and I haven't had much time to look at and reply to them this week. So we are now at max heat. So far my wall has taken a hit, so I didn't see where that happened, but since I didn't fast forward the game speed today, potentially you guys can actually look at the replay and see where I took a hit from. Now, so this is the run where I'm not going to be cancelling my intro sprint early, and yeah, I think there is really nothing much left for me to do at this stage. I just need to wait until I die. So I guess I can give a bit of updates on how I intend to progress my tower in the weeks or months to come. So definitely card masteries are still really important for me. Right now in my farming runs, I'm actually dying to either bosses or rare enemies, and it's fine if it's just always the bosses killing me, but because the rays are actually killing me, what that means is that I'm not killing the rays fast enough. And so what I would kind of need to work on would be slow aura mastery to reduce the attack speed of the rays, and also nuke mastery to even further reduce the attack speed of the rays. Because my labs are relatively lacking and card masteries actually take quite a while, I don't intend to put to unlock one card mastery a week just to get everything, all researchers on card masteries. I think that would be a very painful process, and I would rather dabble in some other researchers along the way. So I guess what I'll do is I will just leave the current researchers that I have to finish up, and maybe when Berserker Mastery completes, I might unlock maybe the Slow Aura Mastery first. While Nuke Mastery is good, I often do not click on any buttons when I'm doing my farming runs. I just leave my device on AFK. So Nuke Mastery only activates when I shoot the nuke, but that requires me to have popped everything else first, and so the run is probably going to end by then. So I think the Slow Aura Mastery, even though it provides less attack speed slow, would be something that would be more beneficial to me in my farming runs. Yeah, and so that would be where I'm intending to move forward for card masteries. For my labs, now that Swamp Radius is almost at level 25, I'm thinking maybe I should just leave this on and go box this lab. But I think the last 5 levels are actually quite long. It's like going to be another 2 months or something. So maybe if anyone is watching this, do let me know in the comments if you think it would be good to just go box it, or potentially when I hit level 25 on this, just move to a different research. And maybe potentially I could work on the stuns and stun durations for Poison Swamp, get them up to a more meaningful level. And the reason why I want to work on those labs is because, as I mentioned earlier, I want to get I don't need a full uptime on 2 Poison Swamps, but at least have a decent uptime on the second swamp. because now that my radius is pretty good in tournaments, I can actually rely on the swarms to do a little bit of damage and a little bit of crowd control. Okay, it's wave 1370, 1380. I've taken the first hit on my energy shield, and hopefully it's not going to last for too long now. And as you can see, the boss has now already taken off my second wind, so demon mode would proc soon. Oh, and look at that, the developers probably have fixed the issue that I was mentioning in the previous video, where when my second wind procced, my intro sprint stopped. Now intro sprint is still going on, and finally, now that I've taken a hit, my demon mode has procced. So looking at the overall performance so far, I think it might be the case that I am actually taking quite a bit more boss hits because my orbs are so far away. However, I'm not taking chip damage, I think, because I'm actually able to clear off most of the enemies. So maybe what I might do is I might bring one of the let's put the extra orbs inside a little bit more so that I can potentially get more boss hits, and workshop orbs maybe just slightly ahead of my range line, and let's see how we go with this. Now I'm really afraid to click on this button because I don't want my entire it's Saturday here. I don't want my entire Saturday to be miserable when I find out that, you know, there are like so many players above me in the bracket. But we'll get to it soon. I'm going to be dead very soon, and I think I will soon have my hopes crushed. But we shall see how we go. I might be lucky, and maybe this might be the bracket where I actually get first place. You know, I'm not counting on it though. So in terms of my ultimate weapons, so I mentioned earlier that I want to focus on CF plus. I want to focus on GT plus. I want to focus on Death Wave cooldown, and potentially my poison swamp. It's the same thing for everybody. It's not that my other ultimate weapons are in a good position. I still need to get 4 seconds in black hole for my duration to make it a permanent black hole, I think. When I do black hole digester farming, I still need to get my spotlight radius or the angle up. Probably something at least like 70 degrees would be good. My inner landmines, I still need 1 quantity. I would like to get the cooldown reduced a little bit more as well. Smart missiles, I would like maybe 15 quantity and maybe 800-900 times damage. Chain lightning, I still need to get the chance maxed out and 1 more quantity. So, you know, it's a constraint optimization game, and everyone is always starved for coins and stones in particular. But the nice thing that, or the thing that I enjoy most about having made this transition away from the EHP setup to a glass cannon one, is that because I no longer have to save up so many stones for just an ultimate weapon unlock, which at its base level is pretty weak, I can feel that my progress is sort of a lot more incremental than it used to be in the mid game. And I think this stage of the game is, even though everything costs a little bit more and each upgrade is still very insignificant, I'm actually enjoying the gameplay at this stage a lot more than before. Right. So do let me know in the comments if you are finding yourself in a similar position, especially for those who have just made the transition or are in the process of making the transition. I do know that it's having spoken to Spartan, JP, 978, and a few others. I do know that it's a very painful process, that just unlocking that last couple of ultimate weapons. And I think it's not unique to just any one person. Everyone kind of has to go through it, and there's so many decisions that when you are playing in that moment, you will be thinking on a day-to-day basis that, well, maybe I should unlock this first, or maybe I should do that first. And now that when I look back at it, I used to make so many decisions about coin optimization and so on, and that was when my lifetime coin was something like 1 little Q or something. I used to try to make so many optimizations, and now that I look back at it, because I'm farming a decent amount of coin nowadays, I kind of wish that I didn't stress over all of these minute decisions so much earlier on when I was playing the game. Because at the end of the day, when I unlocked GT Plus and got it to a decent level, the coin gain from that was just it's just on a different level, and you end up playing a different game. So for anyone who is watching this, and you have a lot of factors of consideration at your stage of progression, I'm not saying that coin farming is not useful, and strats like Devo and stuff, I'm not saying that they are bad strategies. Just know that we are all doing what we can to optimize our coin farming at our given stage of progression, but because of the way this multipliers exponentiate in different stages of the game, all of these decisions that might seem very important to you at this stage might, I guess, become a bit more irrelevant, or less of a factor in future. And it's kind of like how when we were young, and maybe you did something bad, and the thought of your parents scolding you would have been like the worst thought in the world. And then now when you grow up and you look back at your little self, and you realize that, oh no, I stressed about all of these little decisions when actually they are not very important in the grand scheme of things. So I think that's a nice parallel with the game decision and our growth as human beings. Okay, so somehow I am still alive. I've managed to recharge 1 energy shield. The second one is recharging as well. And yeah, I'm pretty interested to see how this would go. So at least for this run, I don't intend to slow down the run at all. I would probably just show you guys how it would typically look like for me at 5 times game speed. And the reason for that is because the other day I opened up one of my earlier videos where I did the time skip, and while I've received some comments that people say that the time skip, the fast forward version looks quite mesmerizing, I nearly got a seizure looking at it. It looked pretty intense to me. So this is how it normally looks like for me when I'm in my tournaments. It doesn't look anything as flashy and sped up like how I normally do it. But at least for the second run, just to ensure that the video is not too long when I upload it, I would probably do a fast forward. But at least you guys can see the gameplay. Now, I had also received a comment from a while back. Someone wanted me to do a tier 18 milestone run. So I am more than happy to do that. The issue is that I think for my tier 18 runs, I am currently at let's see, what 1785. I don't think my tower would be able to get even to like 1800 at this stage. So maybe what I might do is I might hold off on that video and wait till I can probably push for the 2500 milestone. Potentially that might require me to get another 2 to 3 levels into the Chronophil Plus and a little bit more damage overall. Now when that happens, then maybe what I might do is I might just do a live stream on YouTube so that I don't have to upload the whole video, and I can show you how far I can get with tier 18 then. So even for tier 17, I'm not anywhere near completing the milestone. If I remember correctly, I've still got another like 700-ish waves to go. And even at where that level was, I was having issues trying to kill the tank ultimate enemies already. So, I might have to hold off on pushing those milestones for a couple of months at least, until my tower becomes ready enough to attempt them again. Now, at this stage, I guess moving forward for the video contents, I think most people seem to be liking this series on A/B testing for tournaments. However, I think I have already covered most of the tests that I would like to test. Oh, look at that, Nuke has just procced. Okay, it's not long now. So I've covered most of the tests that I would like to test on. If anyone has any tests that they would like me to try, do let me know. But otherwise, I think I might be wrapping up this series and move back to just regular progress update until I can think of anything more meaningful to upload. Oh, I managed to kill the boss. I thought that boss was going to kill me. Oh, look at that, Poison Swamp did the most damage. And by the way, this lab that I've been working on, this Poison Swamp Ren lab, I think it's doing really, it's making my Poison Swamp do a lot more damage than usual. So I'm really liking that lab. Now in my farm runs, even with smaller range where my smart missiles tend to hit a lot more enemies, my Poison Swamp is doing very comparable damage to my smart missiles, and this is with something like 350 times less damage and much less upgrades in my swamp than it is for my smart missiles. The investment cost of smart missiles is certainly very high, and from what I understand, a lot of the players in the mid game nowadays tend to focus more on chain lightning, and eventually, from what I'm told, Poison Swamp damage and chain lightning damage is the way to go. So maybe there could be a case to be made that we ignore our chain lightning, so we ignore our smart missiles and move into Poison Swamp and chain lightning as our damaging ultimate weapons, even from the mid game. But until anyone tests that out, I'm not sure about it. I personally did not do it, so I can't comment any more than that. Okay, rank 3. Let's have a look at the overall stats. So it's a 30-minute run. I was killed by a boss. Okay, that's good. In terms of the damage that I have dealt, so chain lightning damage clearly was the largest. Swamp damage was pretty decent. Smart missile damage was clearly still better. And yeah, I'll just scroll through the remainder of the stats for you guys to look at. Okay, and so that was the first run. Let's have a look. So Snake Man has the tier 18 skin, so no way I would win Snake Man. Dream TV, also no way I would win Dream TV. Hi there. Okay, potentially I might be in third place, so hopefully I stay on in third place, but I don't know, it's very stressful. I don't really want to look at it so far, but overall the ranking, I guess it's still pretty consistent, right? I predicted that I would be between rank 3 to rank 5, and that's just based on past tournament performance. I've just been hovering between rank 3 and rank 5 for quite a while now, so I don't or at least I have no reason to assume that joining this earlier bracket would yield me a different result. Okay, so now let's do a second run with that, but in this run I'm going to fast forward to the point where I guess the last minute or so of the run, just so that you don't have to rewatch the same thing all over again. The main difference in this second run is just that I am going to cancel my black hole around wave, let's say 1200 or so. When my wall breaks, I would turn off my black hole. Okay, and I'll catch you guys later. Okay, it is wave 1120. My wall has just broken. So what I'm going to do is turn off black hole now. And if you recall from the previous episode, I was taking chip damage from the enemies. So to test out the effectiveness of the black hole, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift my ops in to where they would typically hit the boss at max speed. And so that way, without having to rely on the orbs, I can see whether or not the black hole, removal of the black hole is able to actually allow me to juggle the enemies a lot better and not take any chip damage. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so what I'm looking for at this stage is to see whether or not I'm actually taking any hits to my energy shield, potentially from ranged enemies just attacking me, or maybe fast enemies. If it doesn't, if I don't take any chip damage, then in theory this strategy should allow me to get a lot further waves, just because I'm able to use orbs to hit the boss, which would help me with the boss damage. And if you recall from the previous run, it was the boss damage that was killing me. So clearly this is not typical A/B testing because I'm changing a couple of variables. However, it's combining some of the insights that I've seen from the previous episode. So in the previous episode, because my ops were in the interior, like where they are currently, I was actually taking chip damage from the enemies, and that was what ended my runs. So now that I've removed my black hole, if I no longer take chip damage, then that is a sign that the black hole is actually allowing the ranged enemies to hit me. Okay, it is wave 1460. I've taken a first hit of my energy shield. That was from a boss damage. Wave 1470, I've taken another hit. So it wouldn't be long now before second wind procs. Okay, third shield has procced already. So second wind should be coming in now. There we go. So that was actually chip damage from one of the enemies. Would have been a ranged enemy because I didn't see any fast enemy and the boss was still quite far from my tower. Okay, so demon mode is now up. That was from a boss. Already I am doing better than in the previous run. I am now at wave 1553. The previous run ended at 1545. And there we go, the last shield has procced. So Nuke is going to proc next. And as you can see, there's a lot of enemies around my range line. I'm no longer able to kill the enemies at this stage. So what I might suggest for people who are intending to do something like this would be potentially, it might be a good idea to put the extra orbs out somewhere along the range line. That way it allows me to trim out some of the common enemies. And then I keep my workshop orbs at the line where the boss is going to be hit. So that way I can get that extra bit of boss damage. And also at the same time prevent myself from getting chip damage. So in sum it will look something like that. So the extra orbs are trimming off the excess enemies, which has less for me to juggle, and the workshop orbs would be hitting the boss. Now in any case, I wasn't dealing enough damage to kill the boss by then, so I died anyway. So it's wave 1570, a net increase of 25 waves, and that is pretty good. Now clearly this is not the traditional A/B testing, because I've changed a couple of variables. In addition to removal of the black hole, I've also changed the workshop orbs. However, we can see that the performance has actually gone up. So that is a nice thing for me to observe, and it's actually a very consistent run in today's case, because in this one I was 0 death defy. In the previous one I think it was 0, maybe 1. So the overall variance wouldn't be as large. Real time is a lot shorter. So it's about 9 minutes shorter. And I guess the reason for that is because I put my orbs slightly further in. That allowed me to kill the boss for quite a few more waves. With the orbs hitting the boss, where previously in the first run my orbs was at the range line. As a result of that, I had to cancel my intro sprint a bit earlier, or the intro sprint cancelled a bit earlier, which at the end of the day came from the bosses hitting me a lot earlier. Okay. So that is that for today's set of playtesting. I hope I maintained this rank. Good luck with your tournaments, everyone, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!